Welcome back, everybody, to Speedrun Ragnarok 2021. I'm Nehan Tiger, and we have a new run here and a new runner. This is Sonic 1 Forever solo Sonic Beat the Game with HUDS 601. How you doing, HUDS?
Hey, I'm doing very well, thank you. Thank you very much for having me here. And yeah, it's wonderful to be here on Speedrun Ragnarok. Thank you to the Valkyries for inviting me along and for hosting this incredible marathon. My name is HUD601. I'm a Sonic speedrunner, and joining me on commentary for the first time, the wonderful BrySkye. Hello, Bry.
Hello, Huds. Thanks for the intro. Yes, first time. We shall see how this goes.
Fantastic. So, this is Sonic 1 Forever. We're going to jump straight into the run. So, I'm just going to delete my current save file. And if we're ready on the timer, let's get going. In 3, 2, 1, go. So, Bri, do you want to explain to the lovely people out there what Sonic 1 Forever is?
The really big question. Right, so, right off the bat here, you're seeing a few little changes from the Sonic 1 you might be familiar with, which is we're in widescreen, we've got a drop dash, we've got an insta-shield, and basically the whole moveset going here. But this is not based on the original Mega Drive game most people will be familiar with. Everyone's probably familiar with how in 2011 there was a remake of Sonic CD, basically released on everything, and the same developers went on to do Sonic Mania, that of course being Christian Whitehead and Simon Tomley, Taxman and Stealth. But in between there was this little lost child of remaking Sonic 1 and 2 in their own engine, the Retro engine, and for whatever reason Sega decided that that will only ever be released on iOS and Android devices, so no one knew about it, or very few. Then earlier this year, a little decompilation project came by, which was by a Rubber Ducky Cooley and RMG Rich, which have essentially decompiled the engine completely, and we now have these native PC running versions of Sonic 1 and 2. That's the abridged history, if you like. And this is Sonic 1 Forever. This is built upon those decompilations, which have now given us a whole range of movesets, which is the drop dash, the peel out, the spin dash, 7 Chaos Emeralds if you so choose, and a load of additional bug fixes as well as we speed into the first boss, which is something a bit different thanks to widescreen, as you can see.
Yeah, I missed the invincibility on the way to this boss, but to be honest, not a real problem. You can get quite a lot of early hits on that one.
And even more so if you happen to be a little foxy boy.
So yeah, there's two main categories I run in this one, which is Solo Sonic and Sonic and Tails. And bringing Tails along, there's certain levels, like for example Green Hill 3, where you can use Tails' flight assist, which was added to this game, in order to kind of do some faster strats. But for the most part, Tails is mostly just an annoyance, so the Solo Sonic category certainly makes things easier.
There are certain people you should not say these things around. So we'll have a little run here to see if we can get that early cycle, but it's probably too late now with, yeah, it's a very, very tight window.
Requires some very precise movement at the beginning and a little bit of luck on those lava bridges, but not a problem. One of the things you would have noticed, though, is I've picked up a fire shield. So elemental shields were added in the 2013 re-release of this, and thus carry over into Sonic 1 Forever. Very helpful to have a fire shield here in Marble Zone, given the fact that, oh look, lava. And I just died because I didn't jump.
Look, we don't have to worry about the lava. Unfortunately, please do be aware of falling objects.
Already fallen victim to the falling objects, yeah. So while the fire shield can help, you do have to remember to jump out of the way of the falling objects.
Yeah, it's a nice little quick jump into the flame dash, usually to avoid the end, but if it goes ever so slightly wrong, there's two blocks in particular which really do like to bonk you.
I mean, I would use the excuse right now of I'm playing on a slightly broken controller, but I don't think anyone's going to buy that.
Yes, we will give a little allowance here. There is a dodgy A button in play.
Which just happens to be my primary jump button, of course.
Funny enough, there is a connection between that. Right, using our little bounce off from getting spiked to get to the top a bit quicker. And straight through. You've got to love that drop dash.
It's so useful. So the one nice thing about having the drop dash in this game is that it just allows you to kind of carry that momentum. Obviously, the original version of this back in 1991.
Yes.
Yes. 1991 when Sonic first came out. Obviously, there was no drop dash, of course. There was no peel out. There was no spin dash even all the way in that original version. So the levels were obviously designed without those in mind, which certainly makes it interesting to run this when you do have them.
It's a funny thing, really, because let's be honest, Sonic 1 is not everyone's favourite Sonic game.
No, it's
Some will... Uh-oh. Some will
Marble,
argue it's the worst.
Why are you doing this to me, Marble?
Yeah, some will argue this is the worst Sonic game, but what I will say is its level design was somewhat ahead of its time, because you actually do appreciate them a lot more when you do have the full skill set to your disposal.
There we go.
No worries this time.
Right, so we can get the... Ooh! No, didn't quite get it. So,
almost.
with the insta-shield, I got caught on the bridge a little bit there, which didn't help. But yeah, with the insta-shield, there, you get a certain number of frames of invincibility. I'm sure you'll know the exact number, Bry.
I do happen to know so, and also how he changed it. So,
go on.
Oh, you finish first.
I was just going to say, one of the things we can do on that lava is actually use that insta-shield to our advantage to effectively keep the momentum and jump back off the lava without taking damage, but didn't quite manage it that time.
Yeah, so we thought about little changes. We found, in no small part thanks to Sir Hoods here complaining quite vocally about the insta-shield, that we dug into the code a bit, and initially the thing we found was the iframes for the insta-shield was half what it was in Sonic 3. It was 7 instead of 14, which practically is kind of just too small. Say, if you were doing it to avoid a projectile, in those 7 frames, the projectile would still generally be in your hitbox. So we doubled that up, and now the insta-shield behaves exactly like Sonic 3 and Knuckles.
So we're in Marble 3 here. It's a little bit more of what we've seen already, some more platforming and a little bit of auto-scroller. So if there's any messages you want to read or any donations, now is a fantastic time. You've got about a minute.
We do have a couple of donations here. We have a 501 donation from Osborne saying, here's some more money toward Gauntlet 4's MC being named Osborne. Thank you very much. And we also have a $5 donation from Cowboy Knuckles saying, good luck, Huds. And Bry, you are doing amazing on commentary.
Oh, thank you so much, CBK. CBK, also a Sonic 1 Forever runner. She runs Knuckles in this game, because Knuckles and Tails are both available. And also joined us in what I believe to be one of the first 3 character races that have ever been shown in a marathon for GDQ Hotfix, where we did Sonic versus Tails versus Knuckles with Flying Fox as well, which was really wonderful. So, yeah, thank you for your donations. Do keep them coming in. It's going to a wonderful, wonderful charity. Obviously, everyone needs to look after their mental health and look out for one another.
Absolutely. And everybody's favourite boss in Marble Zone.
Yeah, Insta-Shield definitely makes this boss easier. Nice and straightforward.
We'll get to that in Spring Yard Zone.
Speaking of Spring Yard Zone, guess what's coming up next? So yeah, one of the nicest changes in this latest version that was just released 1.4.0 is that because of the changes to the Insta-Shield, the bosses now do react to it. Which means, as we'll see when we get into Spring Yard 3, it makes it far more practical to actually kill the boss off pretty much within one cycle.
Oh, the spoilers! I'll actually point out at this point, I am actually a member of Team Forever, so I am involved in the development of this fork or mod, if you like. So if you're wondering about some of the more background information that's coming in, I'm somewhat little biased, but I do also run the game a bit, primarily with Tails, but also Knuckles.
I see I finally got the ceiling jump in a marathon run again. I keep missing that jump at the moment. I've learned to piano roll it now.
Okay, good old Spring Yard 2.
So yeah, if you're wondering, by the way, what I mean by piano rolling, when it comes to... Oops.
Nice.
Oh, good save.
It's good to see it.
Yeah, when it comes to Sonic games, every button on the controller is a jump button. So what we can do is, in order to ensure that the game registers our jumps... oops, hang on, let me just get through this bit.
So of course. It is possible to insta-shield through that spike ball, but it's pretty precise.
It's near frame perfect. In order to make sure the game registers our jumps, what we can do is press all 3 jump buttons kind of simultaneously, one after the other. Kind of like if you're playing 3 notes on a piano, like one after the other. And that way, the hope is that it registers at least one of the jump buttons.
Speaking of precise jumps, the start of this level will play out in a fairly familiar way to most people, ideally.
You think I'm risking that in a marathon run?
Go on.
I didn't make my 8-second cycle anyway. I should have. There's a strat in the original version of the game there, right at the beginning, where you can effectively make it through those spike balls, but it's really precise. I tend not to go for it in marathon runs because of the level of preciseness of it. If you get even the slightest bit wrong, you're gonna take a death straight at the beginning. It does make the 8-second cycle at the beginning a little bit harder to get, but, you know.
Well, lad, there's a slightly safer way thanks to the spin dash, but again, playing it safe. Super safe.
These bumpers are the bane of my existence, you know.
Well, you got to try some of the special stage the other day, so you know they're even worse there.
So we're going to grab these speeches and this invincibility. Should allow us... Hey, there's a spring. Should allow us to get all the way to the boss arena nice and fast, as long as I don't fall in the pit. Predicting my own death here. There we go, we're good.
Oh, good. Alright, so now this... As you can see, there's some pillars have come up on the side of the screen. That's actually a 2013 thing. To, as you can see, with the game being widescreen, they wanted to contain the boss arena to the original proportions, so the floor isn't also expanded. And those just sort of keep it to a 4x3 arena. But speaking of that insta-shield, yes, as it was alluded to, digging through the code, we found that bosses ignored it. We also found that for some reason in 2013, the hitboxes were drastically reduced to about 60%. So that's another thing that we have recently fixed. And now we're in Lab 1, which we've got a bubble shield, which seems perfect for Labyrinth Zone, being able to breathe underwater.
Wow.
Wow, indeed.
Everyone
Got to
say
it. But...
Oh, you've got to be kidding me.
Okay.
I can't
That might
believe
seem...
it didn't come out of the ground. Okay,
Burrowbots, you gotta hate them, really. Okay, so... That might seem, as you can see, we do have a restart option, which was a nice way to demo that. There is a specific reason why restarting was the order of the day there, because there's a little behaviour with the bubble shield physics when underwater, which is that. And even with the restart, that would still be quicker than trying to do even the shortcut route, never mind the long route. So, bubble bouncing, it's a good fun thing. And something we've deliberately kept in. We did have the option of patching that out, but it was decided against internally.
So yeah, you can do it the old school way, which is go down to the bottom, hit the button, come back up to the top, and take the little secret platform over to the other side. But for some reason, I don't know why, it is a little bit trickier in this. I think when Christian Whitehead redid this in the retro engine, the physics don't work. They're not 100% like the original. They're very, very close, but not exactly. And it is a little bit trickier than in the original to do so. To be honest, it's safer just to quickly restart, take the 15-second hit, and go again with the bubble shield.
I will ask that people were hopefully paying attention at that little Orbanaut, because... no worries this time.
No sniping this time.
Unlike the original game, those orbs do not despawn. So if you get your timing, shall you say, actually very good, there is a good chance of getting hit while bouncing off the spring.
Done that with no rings as well. It's always fun when you get sniped with no rings.
Marathon safe.
Always.
Speaking of the Orbanauts, thanks to a little influence from Sonic Jam and a lot of research, there was one there you might notice has been deleted. That was just a decision which is of course good for a speedrun and a casual player. We just decided it was a troll enemy. It was just there was no real quick way to get around it without damage boosting. It just wasn't fun, so he got yeeted out.
So coming up to lab 3, this one's a real tricky one to do in a speedrun because we're only going to grab a bubble shield at the beginning and a lightning shield near the end, and we're not going to grab any rings throughout this. So it can be a little bit unsafe, but for the most part, it's not too bad. So I'm going to grab this bubble shield at the beginning here. This will help me get through without needing to worry about stopping for breath. But when we get to the end, I'm going to attempt a strat, which is known as the fast climb, where effectively we can get ahead of Robotnik, and stay ahead of him and climb up faster. It is incredibly tricky. It's nearly pixel perfect and frame perfect input. So when we get to that point, I will just ask for a little bit of silence to concentrate. But for now, we're just making our way through the level. We need to hit this button up the top. That will open up the gate that's locking us in here. Normally about this point, you'll be running out of breath, but again, this bubble shield means that's not going to happen. And keeping the bubble shield is actually really important because as we come up to the climb here, I'm going to grab this checkpoint, just, marathon safety.
Oh, yes.
So the bubble
on your quote-unquote bubbleless.
Thank you. So we're going to use the bubble just to get up this climb nice and simply and fast. So we're now going to attempt the fast climb. So a little bit of silence, just a second. Ah, I've lost the shield. And I've fallen. Oh no. Okay, this has just made it actually really hard.
Unfortunate.
So now I have no rings, no shield, and I have to avoid all the obstacles, and now I have to avoid drowning as well. So, yeah, this is
just like Sonic 1.
There we go, made it through. So, yeah.
We'll see. Oh, be careful, yes. Robotnik, for whatever reason, in all the other bosses when he flies off, his hitbox is deactivated. For whatever reason, it isn't in Labyrinth Zone. So that was very tense.
That was nearly a death after completing the level. Whew, that would have been a true HUD. Oh dear. Yeah, so it's a really difficult climb, that one. I've only ever managed it a handful of times, where effectively you can get ahead of Robotnik, as you saw. You can stay ahead of Robotnik and make it all the way to the top before he does, but the further on you go, the more precise those jumps become. Unfortunately, just losing my shield near the end there, and then getting knocked down, so we had to do the climb the old-fashioned way. That was Starlight 1, by the way.
Jump. Yeah, nicely timed little final jump there. That's a bit more tricky than people realise. It's a very small window to get that extra jump.
So, Starlight 2, we're effectively going to, I don't want to say cheat, but we're certainly not going to take the intended route. We can walk on ceilings in this one, so that's pretty much what we're going to do.
We'll point out this is actually a forever exclusive. The 2013 version, well, it will let you run on roofs, it won't let you get back down again. So this is normally a soft lock if you manage to do it. Oops.
I did my jump too early, so I'm going to restart that.
Fair enough.
Okay, so we're going to go back down again. So the idea is we basically drop dash and jump between the roofs to get to the end of the level, effectively just skipping out most of the level. So just build up some momentum here, jump into drop dash, jump, drop dash, jump, bounce off these monitors, and into drop dash, and that's the end of the level.
2093 as well. Very
So,
nice.
Starlight 3 next, we're going to be facing the boss again. Because we don't have tails, I can't skip the beginning bit, so I am going to have to use the seesaws. And then we're going to take a slightly different route to grab a lightning shield that will help us with the boss at the end.
Yeah, as you can imagine, Starlight's proven to be a bit of a favourite in at least forever. Especially with certain Foxy players.
We're going to take the bottom path here, because then I can use this spring with the momentum to get up on the roof. Jump down here and grab this lightning shield.
A very convenient lightning shield.
Will we get the yeet? There it is, big yeet.
Very nice, very smooth.
Straight into the boss arena, right.
And as you can imagine, lightning shield at this boss is quite convenient, as long as you can keep it.
Much easier without tails, that much I can tell you.
Yeah, he interferes with those saws a bit. Which, speaking of, we have looked into that a bit. We fixed the original bug. It turns out the bug is happening in a slightly different way now instead, so we're going to have to revisit that.
Okay, Scrap Brain 1 coming up next. It's a fairly straightforward level for Sonic, so I'm going to throw it over to our gracious host again. If you've got any more messages you'd like to read, now is a perfect time.
No, not a whole lot more messages. Just a couple of reminders here. We do have that Gauntlet for main character name bid war that is going on. That run will be coming up a little bit later after Sonic Block and I think Ultima 6. We also have very quickly, we do have one more target here for Azure Dreams. The 2 Loompa percent target hasn't quite been met yet, but we're getting pretty close on that too. So there's a couple of things if you're looking for donation incentives, that's what you can aim for.
Thank you very much. So one of the really nice changes I love in this is that those doors that you just go through.
Are you going to try and claim credit for this one again, sir?
Of course I am.
Yes.
If you go super fast with the spin dash, they used to catch you because it didn't open fast enough. I may have put in a little request to the devs, say, could you make them open a bit faster so they don't hold up my progress? And they graciously said yes and made them faster.
Which happened about a month after I said the same thing and the decision was made, so there you go.
I'm still laying claim to that one.
Yeah, sure you are. I pleaded Elspeth on stream for that.
So, Scrap Brain 2, probably one of my favourites. I have no rings, that's really bad right now. Especially considering I need to
see why it's one of your favourites.
Let's go up, right. Grab that as safety.
Yeah, actually that
damage boost. There we go.
Yeah, that's actually something we didn't mention is, it's actually in the 2013 port, but we made it more accessible, is speed caps are one of the things you can turn off, and be careful of the crushers. The infamous crushers. They've claimed some victims. Yeah. There we go.
Yes.
But yes, speed caps were a thing in the original Sonic. Speed caps, ground caps, roll jump lock, all things that you can turn off, and for the speedrun they absolutely are turned off. And that's why you're in the situation where you can outspeed the doors opening, so we made them, I think it was exactly 50% faster. And we're at a very special moment now at the end of Scrap Brain 2. Shout outs to RPG, because he is our first official impatient player who found if you spin dashed quick enough you could actually fall through the bridge and die.
If you ever need your game bug tested, just give it to a speedrunner. Simple as that. Ooh.
That's going to hurt the cycles a bit.
It's going to really hurt the cycles. So yeah, this level, Scrap Brain 3, also known as Labyrinth 4, we kind of do have a fairly set path for this one, and the cycles are not where they should be, but we actually got pretty lucky on that one. Always take top path, much better than the bottom path. Although, do you want to talk about bottom path while we do Final Zone here?
I will, but first I'll just mention, because people may be expecting a certain way for this boss to go, is this is true RNG in the remakes. There is no pattern manipulation, so Hood is going to have to do this the proper way, the intended way.
Yeah, I genuinely have no idea what order these are going to come in right now.
But speaking of Scrap Brain 3, we did add a little Easter egg, a reference to the original, some unused data in the original game actually that was, we think, going to be implemented in 2013 but wasn't finished. Which is a little Easter egg of some goggles you can find hidden somewhere in the level. And if you manage to keep them through the entirety of Scrap Brain 3, you have to take the long route. Then you get a little achievement called Eye Protection. But being the madman that I am, I decided to include that in speedruns. So you have to complete Scrap Brain 3 the long way, taking 0 hits. And if you do take a hit, that's a restart, or the level at least. And if you lose it or the boss lets you run dead. So goggles % coming soon. And also, goodbye to Jurgen in the background.
Yeah, shout out to Jurgen.
You might still catch him.
Time is coming up on the fade out. It's going to be in about 3, 2, 1. Time.
Hey. GG, Hoods.
Thank you very much. That's a nice little run, that.
Yeah, it was a nice little run. Thanks, guys, for thanks for doing that. It's always good to see these classic Sonic games rerun, even if they're remasters of the old games, just because the optimization on these are I know I've said this before already during this block, but the optimization on these are just so amazing to see how people go through these bosses and just make them look so simple when your childhood is like, I can't beat this boss.
It's such a difference compared to, like, when I first started running this game. I still had that problem of like, oh my god, these bosses are so hard. What do I do? And the more you play it, the better you get. I mean, I'll be honest, Sonic 1 Forever right now is not optimized. We've got a lot of work to do to really kind of nail it because of the introduction of the spin dash and the peel out and the drop dash especially. There's still a lot of work to do to really optimize some of these levels. So I suppose it's a good time to really shout out and say, look, if you're interested in running this game, you can download it for free right now. If you follow Team Forever, who made this, on Twitter at S1Forever, you can go, all the links are there on their Twitter page. You can download this game for free. You just need the mobile version of the game for it to pull from. Come on into speedrun it. It's a really fun run. It's Sonic 1 pretty much the way it should have always been, I suppose. I want to give a huge shout out to Bry. Thank you so much for coming along to commentate with me today.
My pleasure. Thank you for asking me.
Shout outs to Elspeth, the lead dev for Sonic 1 Forever, and all the people at Team Forever for making this awesome game, and to the whole Sonic speedrun community too. You're all fantastic, fabulous people, and it's really great, being able to know you all and get to know you and to be friends with you all. Shout outs to the RPG Valkyries as well. Again, thank you for putting on this amazing marathon. Thank you for inviting me along to show this game. And yeah, if you guys enjoyed this, if you want to come see some more, don't be afraid to drop me a follow over at twitch.tv/HUD601. I'm streaming regularly, and I play 2D and speedrun 2D Sonic games, so it'd be lovely to see you there. But other than that, I'm going to hand back it to our host, and yeah, good luck with the rest of the marathon.
Thank you very much, Huds and BrySkye. That was good to have you here for that. Next up, we've got Grand Shinchan 2 coming up here with Optical OP. So stay tuned for that. Going to be exiting Sonic Block and going into Crayon's Shinchan block, apparently. So be right back.